This is a first for StudioJake vidcast and one I'm very excited about. A little over a week ago, I did a video called 5 Anime That Need a Sequel, and I actually got enough comments where I can make a sort of add on to that video thanks to comments from you.
Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side.
Hi everyone, my name is Jacob Berry. Welcome to the StudioJake vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and if you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post a new vidcast and consider becoming a channel member. So yeah, a little over a week ago, I did a video called 5 Anime That Need a Sequel, and it was an updated version of a video I did earlier in the year, and some of those ones from the first of 2024 actually got made, and so I asked for more from these anime production companies. To my surprise, I got enough comments with suggestions where I could do a new list. But this one is suggested by you, my subscribers, my commenters. Thank you so much for that. This is a first for the Studio Jake vidcast, and I am greatly appreciative. So, without further ado, here are 5 more anime that need sequels that were suggested by you. Okay, so up first is Monthly Girl's Nozaki-Kun. So basically, this anime is sort of a high school teen drama rom-com, and it follows a girl named Chio who has a crush on her very stoic classmate who is Nozaki. And what she doesn't realize is when she approaches him to confess, instead of saying, I'm in love with you, she kind of stumbles on her words and says, I'm a fan of yours. Well, it turns out Nisaki just goes, "Oh, okay," and he gives her an autograph, and she's kind of like, "What?" And he goes, "Oh, you read my manga. That's really cool." Turns out Nozaki is actually a manga writer and illustrator, and she ends up just through a series of more misunderstandings joining his team of manga artists. And it's really funny because when she asks him, "Why don't you tell our classmates that you're a mangakai," which is what they call manga creators in Japan, he says, "Well, I did, but everyone thought I was joking and laughed about it, and so I just never brought it up again." He's very humble, he's very stoic, and she continues to grow in her crush of him. And I have watched this anime. It's actually pretty funny. It's pretty good. It's very heartwarming. It doesn't have a lot of fan service humor, we'll say, like a lot of these teen rom-coms do. It's one of my wife's favorite animes, actually. And I agree. I think it would be really cool to have a sequel to this anime because the anime doesn't necessarily end on a cliffhanger, but you definitely want more from it. And the manga continued on from where the anime ended, so you could definitely do a second or even third season. Okay, so number 2, this is an anime I just recently got in, so I'm not very far into it, but it's an isekai called How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. For those of you unaware, I've mentioned this genre before. It's a genre of either sci-fi or fantasy, depending on the writer and creator of the series, but it's about this Japanese college student named Soma, and he gets pulled through a wormhole into this sort of realm of magic. And basically, he gets pulled into this very poor kingdom called the Elfrieden Kingdom, which has humans, elves, and demi-humans. And they're going to send him to a kingdom they're indebted to. However, when he learns that he could be dissected because of how he got pulled through the portal, he offers instead to help the kingdom with its finances. And then the king abdicates the throne and gives him the throne and also proposes that he marry his daughter, who she is away right now training to be a knight. And they end up meeting and sort of becoming collaborative. And then he gets like a whole crew together to help him continue to rebuild the kingdom. And it's supposed to be sort of a fantasy comedy. It's really well written so far, what I have seen. Now, this one does have 2 seasons, and apparently season 2 ends again not on a cliffhanger, but it ends in a way where you want to know what happens. So yeah, sure, let's do it. Let's do season 3. This one does look very interesting, and I wouldn't mind continuing to watch it, especially with this suggestion in my comment section. Now, I will admit this one is not looking like one that I would enjoy, but it's The Demon Girl Next Door, and it's basically a supernatural slice of life comedy about a girl named Yuko who she discovers that she is actually a descendant of a dark clan, and her kingdom or her clan went to war with the clan and they lost. And so she decides to become sort of a magical girl style superhero to restore honor to the dark clan. And like I said, this one, it seems kind of similar to Cardcaptor Sakura. Maybe I would have enjoyed it when I was younger, but hey, if there are fans of this anime and you would like a continuation, because maybe the first season, or excuse me, the second season actually ran for 2 seasons and then stopped, but you would like to see a third to see what happens, hey, good for you. Bring it up and send it off to JC Staff. That's the anime production company behind this. Definitely give it a try. I don't see why you shouldn't be able to see a third season of this. Let it happen. All right, so this is another one that I have not seen before, but this is Claymore. And basically, it takes place in a dark fantasy world, very magical, and humans are being hunted by these beings called the Yoma. And so, this group called simply the organization, they create these Yoma human hybrids called Claymores, and the series specifically follows a Claymore named Claire. Now, I'm not familiar with this show at all. I understand it's very dark and gruesome, very similar to Berserk and Goblin Slayer, but I wouldn't say I would never watch it. I might give it a try. I do like dark fantasies sometimes. So apparently, this one ran for 1 season. Some people insist it was actually 26 episodes. Well, the manga has a lot more. The manga ended, but it ran for 13 years, and I guess Claymore didn't cover all of the story arcs from the mangas, and so fans have been clamoring for another season that covers the rest of the manga. Now, that would be interesting. I would certainly love to give it a try and see what happens. And yeah, sure, why not? Do a sequel to it. Okay, so this is one I actually am very familiar with. I've seen all of the episodes of the series, and I watched the movie and the TV film based on it. And this is Yojo Senki, also known in English as the Saga of Tanya the Evil. What the series follows is this Japanese businessman. He's very mean, he's very cruel in life. He actually gets pushed in front of a train by someone he had just wronged, basically. And this guy's an atheist, but his kind of dying thoughts are, this just proves that there's no God because I shouldn't deserve to go out like this. Well, then time freezes as he's falling in front of the train, and basically, in the form of pigeons, of people, and in objects in some cases, this being that the man eventually calls being X says, hey, how can you not believe in how are you blaming me? You don't even believe in a God. So why would you blame me for your death? And the man kind of protests a little bit. And so being X is like, okay, you know what? Fine. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to reincarnate you in a world that's kind of a steampunk world. So there's magic and steampunk technology as Tanya. And it's kind of an allegory to World War I in Europe, where this guy is reborn in as this short girl. And basically, he has to die a natural death or he'll be sent to hell as Tanya, obviously. To make matters worse, though, is being X blesses Tanya, so now she can't necessarily die on the battlefield or die of disease. And so Tanya is always trying to fix the world basically so that Tanya can die a natural death. She can die a natural death. And it's very fascinating about how, people are just scum, really, how people can be just scum. Because you have this really selfish, egotistical man who got his comeuppance because he treated people so horribly in life. But instead of learning from that and trying to be a better person as Tanya, she is exactly the same kind of person. In fact, even more evil, willing to sacrifice her own soldiers in battle. But then, because of the blessing from being X, Tanya can't really get that natural death. And so she's always trying to manipulate circumstances. And this is a little bit of a spoiler alert, but Tanya ends up being sent to the desert campaign in command of it because of accidentally doing things the way being X blesses her, she always finds herself in that sort of faded way. And it's very interesting. It's a very interesting look about how people don't change, about how they stay the same, and in some cases get worse. It's a very interesting look at the human condition. I would love to see a season 2, and I believe one was announced in 2021, but nothing has ever come since the announcement. They just kind of announced that it was coming, but then nothing ever happened. And so people are really confused because it's been 3 years and we haven't really seen anything. At least I couldn't find anything other than, a few advertisements about it, but that was about it. We haven't really heard anything other than they have confirmed the original cast and that it was going to be made by the original studio and also the original creative team behind season 1 and the TV movie are coming back. So maybe we will eventually get it, but that one is still up in the air. Okay, and that concludes 5 anime that need a sequel suggested by you. I really appreciate that, and I hope that more of my videos produce those kinds of content so that I can make videos based on things that you suggest for me. I love doing stuff like that. I love being involved with my subscribers and working with them and producing content that they would like to see. So to everyone who commented, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. This video didn't exist without you. Thank you for watching this episode of the StudioJake vidcast. If you would be so kind, please like this video, share it out to all your friends, leave me a comment on what you think, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to ring that little bell to get notifications when I post a new vidcast and consider becoming a channel member. Head on over to my website, studiojakemedia.com, where I have reviews for anime, including ones for Saga of Tanya the Evil. It's totally free. You just put in your email address and then you don't get any ads. At least for right now, I am totally ad free on my website, and you can just scroll and read my articles and my reviews, all relating to pop culture. If you want to support the channel, head on over to my Logos community. You can sign up for a monthly subscription, or you can send me tips based on articles I post there, including some exclusive ones. It's also where I publish my short stories. And speaking of my stories, I've got novels. I've got the supernatural thriller Cacophony about a group of demons that's trying to take over a town in Texas and a group of angels that are sent to stop them. I also have my Sword and Sorcery trilogy, what I'm calling the Dark Army trilogy, The Seven Royals, All Good Things, The Seven Royals, Breaking the Stars, and book 3 should come out in 2025. I also have my romance novella. This is my latest publication. This is Blessed Child. It's life affirming. It's about courage under fire, especially when an elf princess, she realizes that she's pregnant with a human child and it causes turmoil in her kingdom. But a knight who has been disgraced, but he's on the path to redemption, he steps up to protect her and they form a friendship. I definitely recommend it. Check it out. And best of all, if your kids are 12 or older, they can read right along with you. I wrote all these books where there's enough depth for the adults to enjoy it, but there's nothing gratuitous. So your kids, again, if they're 12 or older, can enjoy them as well. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake. And keep those suggestions coming because I might do more videos based on what you suggest.